Hey there, students. We're back. We're going to be doing some note rhythm counting, or rhythm note counting, however you want to think of it. This is kind of basic stuff, but sometimes we don't get to talk about it enough in class about how to just count rhythms. And so these are our basic rhythm figures. Now, if you want to get more advanced with 16th notes, I encourage you to find the 2 videos I've posted called The Magic of 16th Notes. But what we have here is we have 1/4 note, which is going to be known as 1. A half note, which will be 2 beats, 1 and 2. A quarter note, which will take up 4 beats, 1 through 4. A dotted half, which takes up 3 beats, 1 through 3. 2 eighths by themselves, which would be a 1 followed by an and. It will be any number, actually, followed by an and. A quarter rest, which will be a number with a parenthesis around it. A whole rest, which will be a 1 through 4 with parentheses around it, because of that is a rest that takes up 4 beats by itself. A half rest, that'll be 1 through 2 around it, because that takes up 2 beats. Remember, this is a whole rest, this is a whole note. Whole notes have 4 beats in them, whole rests have 4 beats in them. These kind of look similar. So think of a whole rest, it looks like a hole in the ground. A half rest looks like a hat. Hat, half, kind of sound the same. So that's kind of a way you can remember that that's a whole rest for 4, that's a half rest for 2. Okay, let's get to work. How do we count? So now guys, this really depends on what is in your time signature. Are you playing a song that's in 4/4, 3/4, 2/4? It just depends on what you're counting. We're going to count in 4/4. So that means that every single measure, all of these measures, here's measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4. All of these measures are going to be equal to 4 quarter notes. 4 quarter notes. 4 quarters. 4/4. That's what each of these measures are going to equal. So let's count through. So here's measure 1. Once we get going in this, you'll kind of see this isn't so hard. Here's measure 1. So a quarter note is worth 1 beat. That takes up beat 1. This is beat 2 of this measure. This is beat 3 of this measure. This is beat 4 of this measure. You would clap that just by going 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the next one, guys, it's not going to go to 5 because remember, the measure ended. So it's going to start back over with 1. So here is again 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these ones right here, guys, these are called quarter rests. And quarter rests have a number with the parentheses. A quarter rest is the equivalent to a quarter note, except the quarter rest is just quiet. So the quarter note is going to be like this. You will write out, or the quarter rest will be like this. 1 parentheses, 2 parentheses, 3 parentheses, 4 parentheses. And why parentheses? Because that lets us know that it's silent. Now the next measure though, guys, doesn't start on 5. It actually, again, the measure's over, so it starts back on 1. So it'd be 1 parentheses, 2 parentheses, 3 parentheses, 4 parentheses. See how that pattern, the numbers only go up to 4. Now if this was a 2/4 example in the beginning, the numbers would only go up to 2. If it was a 3/4 example, the numbers would only go up to 3. So you kind of see how the math works. So number 1 there, guys, this first example would sound like this. I'm going to play it on my wonderful cup. And it sounds like this. Here's number 1. Okay, let's jump over to number 2. Now number 2 has half notes in it. So this is a half, this is a half. These half notes, guys, are equal to 2 beats. Now how this works though is you're going to consider this one and that one coming together to make this, because that's 1 beat and 1 beat. Those will make a half note. So there's 1 through 2. That one with that one together, that will make beats 3 through 4. So that's what we do when we see those. Okay, 1 through 2, 3 through 4. Because beats 1 and 2 are in that one, beats 3 and 4 are in this one. This one right here is worth, the dotted half is worth 3 beats. Okay, so let's go over here. Now this is going to combine that one, and that one. And it makes what we call 1 through 3. And then which one is hanging out here by itself? Beat 4. Okay. Now we have 2 half rests, which look like little hats. The 2 half rests right here, both will equal 1 through 2. What that would be 1 and 2 coming together. So it would be 1 and 2. And then it'd be 3 and 4 coming together right down. So it'd be 3 through 4. And that's how we'd write that out. And then this last one is 1 through 4. And it would be beats 1 through 4, just in a silent, with parentheses around it. Now I know you guys are going to ask, what's the difference between this and this? The answer is nothing. It's just written differently. What's the difference between this and this? Nothing. It's just written differently. It would be very weird to see a measure that was written like that. I don't think I've ever seen that. A composer would just turn that and they would put that there instead. Less ink, really. Okay, so guys, now let's kind of play around with a few. So here we are. You can already kind of just go up and kind of see what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is a note that's worth 4 beats, meaning it's going to take up all 4 of these. This is a whole note. This is going to be written 1 through 4. Okay, so now on the next one, guys, you can kind of compare. Every measure starts on what number so far? Well, they all start on 1. Okay, there's 1. What comes after 1? 2. Good. What comes after 2? You can see right here. It's going to be 3, but this one has 2 beats, so it's going to be 3 through 4. Okay, this is kind of the opposite. What number starts every measure? 1. How many beats are in it? 2. So it has 1 through 2 are going to be in it. And then it has 3 left over with a 4. 3, 4 hanging out on the end. Now, guys, let's kind of get a quick recap on all that in your head. You can pause it if you want. But now, number 4, we're going to introduce our eighth notes. Now, eighth notes are not too bad. Eighth notes, 2 of these fit into 1 of these. So we would say with these, we call them 1 and 2 and 3 and, well, you might guess what the next one is, 4 and. And we always place the number followed by the and sign. Number 4 is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Number 1 was just quarter, 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 quarter. Number 2, and our number 4 is eighth, 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 eighth. So these guys are twice as fast as these, okay? Number 1, number 4. Okay, so now let's go over here, guys. So this is a quarter hanging out by itself. There's 1. Here's 2 eighths together. So just like that, you jump to the next number. So you would have 2, and here's the next one with a 3, because that's the next possible number. You guys can probably guess what these 2 are going to be called, 4 and. Right here, you would have 1 and, because it's the number that starts each measure is 1, 1 and 2. Then you would have 3 and 4. And these ones right here always starts on 1. And if there's a bar, it's an and. Then you have your 2, bar, it's an and. Oh, these are just quarters, so it's going to be 3, 4. So how does that number 4 sounds like this? It goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Good job. All right, so now, guys, we're getting to some harder ones, okay? This next group, starting on number 5, let me make a better view for you. Starting on number 5 right here, guys, this combines all of them together, all of the symbols. And I'm just going to kind of write them out, and we'll talk about them a little bit as I go. So here's number 5. We're starting with a 1, 2, 3 through 4. Then you have a 1 parentheses, 2 parentheses, 3 by itself, 4 parentheses. Now you have a 1 and 2. Here's a half rest for 2 beats, and the beats are going to be 3 and 4 that fall into it. And then here you have a whole rest by itself. That's the only thing that takes up the measure, so it's going to be 1 through 4. Number 6, you have 1 through 3, because there's 3 beats in that note. And then you have a 4 there hanging out by itself. Now you go to the next one, you have a 1. But then, guys, you have 3 beats in this one. So it's going to be beats 2, 3, and 4. So it would be 2 through 4 there. whereas this one is going to be a whole note by itself, so it's worth 4 beats, 1 through 4. This is one of the most famously misplayed rhythms of all musicians. It's quarter, half, quarter, 1 beat, 2 beats, 2 through 3, and then 1 beat by itself. It always helps, guys, to go always refer back to that very beginning model. You know, if you have a hard time counting the numbers, remember everything is based around that 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to number 7, guys, you have your eighth notes. 1 always starts and it's barred, and there's 3 beats in a dotted half, and so it's going to be on starting on 2. That'll be beat 2, 3, and 4. We have a 1 through 2. Up there's a half rest, which are going to take up the next 2 beats, 3 through 4. You have a 1, then 2 in parentheses, 3 and 4 in parentheses. And you have a 1 and 2, 3, 4, and that 2, 3, 4 is also going to be in parentheses. All quiet. Those are all quarter rests. Okay, number 8 is going to be 1 through 4 because it's a whole note. You have 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Then we have 1, 2 through 3, 4 and. Then we have 1, 2 through 4. Okay, again, that's one of those tricky ones. It's worth 3 beats, that note is. But it doesn't start on beat 1, it starts on beat 2. So you kind of have to count like that. You kind of have to count 2, 3, 4. It takes up those 3 sounds. Okay. All right, so if you guys want to hear number 5, 6, 7, and 8, I'll just play them. Here's number 5. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Sorry, I missed one hit in there. I didn't hit my cup at the right time. Number 7 is 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest, rest, 1, rest, 3 and rest, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Number 8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, guys, what I'm going to leave with you is this. So go ahead and hit pause when you're ready, and this is going to be your homework, this question mark 1. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to be able to figure this out, okay, using all those numbers. Let me go to a nice big screen like that. So now you guys, you could hit pause. Even better is right there. Okay, and guys, what I would challenge you to further do, if you feel confident with that question mark 1 there, I would challenge you to further look through any of your music. Look at all of the music I've given you and see if you can figure out how to count those rhythms, okay? Just like that. See if you can figure it out to all of your songs. It's a nice thing to be able to do, to know the rhythms. Not only know your note names, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but to also know how to count your rhythms. Very, 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 very important. I hope this video was helpful. Leave any comments for questions below. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.